So this is a video I've been meaning to do for a while, and it basically concerns my thoughts having now completed my first year of drama school. I had originally intended to do this outside, although being as it's England and summer, it's rained. So I suppose it's probably best that I just do it here in the vlog room. This might be a little disjointed, although it's taken me this long to really collect my thoughts on Signet. Well, throughout this whole past year, whenever people have asked me how are things going at Signet, I've said something vaguely along the lines of, it's keeping me very busy, it's extremely draining, but rewarding. Which is true, although there's more to it than that. I think physical, mental, emotional overload is probably closer to the mark. It's extremely fucking intense. My biggest dislike of the place, actually, is just how all-pervasive it becomes in your life. It's like, this is a bit of a bad analogy, but like having a child, almost. It's that there's this separate entity in your life that controls your very being. It decides when you get up, when you go to bed, who you hang around with, and when you eat, when you sleep. One of the things that dawned on me very soon after starting at Signet is that I have never had what you would call a typical social circle. My social circle has been firstly my parents, then the colleagues I had at my first work, we used to hang around a little, then Nerdfighteria. And now I'm in a situation where I'm with these people, and it dawned on me that actually they are the most, for want of a better word, normal people I have ever encountered. And coincidentally, I don't have an awful lot in common with them. I mean, we have a good working relationship, there's no bad blood or anything like that, but they're not the people I have an awful lot in common with, other than the fact we all happen to be at drama school together. And I can't honestly say that I'd perhaps choose to spend any of my social time with them, but they are the people who I've been most in contact with for the past year. I don't begrudge them that, although it does gall me that several relationships I did really deeply value, I fear have not disintegrated, but fallen by the wayside a little bit, just simply for the amount of time I've had to spend at drama school doing what I'm doing. But you know what? Enough of me bitching about being lonely and having no friends there. Is it actually worth it? That's the question I have to keep coming back to. Well, I am improving, there can be no doubt. I'm learning new and interesting things about the industry, and some aspects of it I wasn't previously aware of. Although, if I ever start talking about my art or my craft, then you have my personal permission to shoot me in the face until I die. And since studying musical bastarding theatre, I can honestly say that my feelings have developed from it not really being my cup of tea to actual visceral, guttural hatred of it and all that it stands for. Is it worth it? Well, in order to try and answer that question, I was looking at some of the outgoing third years, and one of them in particular has been the victim of what I would call a bit of institutionalised snobbery. There aren't any exams at Signet. I won't get a degree at the end of it. I will hopefully have the skills in order to go out into the world and make a living for myself. That being the case, there's no centralised, standardised way that you teach drama, especially not at university level. So, most independent institutions like these are a complete law unto themselves, and if you get on the wrong side of the people running them, then you will have a terrible time there. There's just no other way around it. And sadly, in the case of this third year I'm speaking of, she just left with a bit of a chip on her shoulder. She's going to go off into the world, and she's a fine actress. She's going to go far, I've no doubt. I just fear that she didn't fit what they felt was the right mould for her. Which is a shame, because if they had been a little bit more open-minded, they might have been able to do a lot more. I've got my own frustrations with the place, but I'm generally of a rather stoical attitude about it. It's been my experience of academic institutions my whole life that generally they are a bit ad hoc on the organisational side of things, and Signet is no exception. And I ranted on Twitter occasionally, I snatched a couple of hours in the evening, I stayed up probably longer than I should have done trying to, maintain some of the relationships in my life I truly did care about and whom I didn't get to see all that often. If you're watching it, you know who you are. I mean, I know the people who are truly worth it will stick around and stand by me through the Signet years, and that, it's a reality of what I'm doing that I won't have that much time to spare for myself. Although, here's the kicker. I made myself a promise when I started out doing this, and it's the same promise I would have made doing anything, is that if I don't feel it's worth it at any point, I'm gone. I'm off doing something else. I don't know what it'll be, but if for one moment I think this isn't going to work, or it's not worth the pain and struggle to do, then I will stop doing it. I know it's not beyond my ability to do this, to complete the 3 years and go out and get a job, hopefully. But I have to weigh that with how I was feeling at the end of this past term just gone. Towards the end of it, I was very stressed, unhappy. I didn't like who I was as a person. I was snapping at my parents for the tiniest thing. I was being brutally harsh with some of my friends. I was being dismissive of people. I was just very cold and not embittered, but jaded about everything. And that's not me. That's not who I am. It's not who I want to be. And it took as long as it has taken really to get round to making this video in order to feel like I'm in the place I was this time last year, when I was just about to go into Signet and the whole crazy summer of 2010 had just happened. And my concern for going into the second year is it's going to be the same, but even more so. I don't know, we'll have to wait and see. But that's my concern, that if I do go through with all of this and complete it successfully the other side, that when I come out I will not be the person I was when I went in, and I will not have changed for the better, and I might be able to act and get jobs, and I might be able to be successful, but I'm not sure that I would be happy. It's still too early to tell, but these are my concerns at this point. One thing I feel I should mention is that my opinion on drama school, having been there for a year, is that it is the making of some people, but it is the absolute destruction and ruination of some other perfectly viable others. So, is it worth it? Short answer: yes, if this is what you want to do, although I have concerns, and I hope that this won't change me for the worse. I'll level with you. I'm scared that in doing what needs to be done in order to succeed, I will alienate and upset the people who I truly care about, which I'm not willing to do in order to succeed. But it's the dilemma I'm faced with. I don't know what the solution is, but I'm going back there in September regardless. I suppose I just hope that they understand the people I care about. I hope this video hasn't been too much of a downer. It's just one that I felt I should and needed to make at some point, and I wasn't really looking forward to it because I knew that I'd have to get very introspective with you, and it would either be rather depressing or, even worse, boring. One of the advantages, if you like, of being at Signet is that I do have a big backlog of vlog ideas which I really should get round to making. So hopefully you'll be seeing some of them soon. I didn't want to spam you all at once as soon as I came out, but yeah, back in the saddle now, and hope to see you around. Take care.